Good morning. It is Sunday, June 13th, I believe. And maybe 14th. I don't remember. It's Sunday morning. My name is Laura. If you're new here, I also go by my handle, Lord Conda, because I am the lord of my historical fantasy series, Courage and Ambition. I have first draft of book one as a personal print copy, just to help remind me that I did it. I wrote the first book in what is looking to be a 5-book historical fantasy series. And I'll dive a little bit more into my book because I don't really think I've given a good summary of it or talked about it much recently. I am an aspiring author hoping to eventually query book one, but even though I have book one drafted, and I did have a round of soft beta reading, and I was very encouraged by that, I am waiting to rewrite book one until I finish writing book two, because I think once I get the first draft of book two nailed down, then I'll feel a lot more confident in going back to book one and rewriting it, knowing where we go in book two. And I am a combined plotter pantser, so I actually have a video about my 3-tier writing system. So I've pretty much plotted the major arcs of the entire series, and so I know exactly what the main points are for my characters, but I am pantsing kind of the in-between, okay, well, how do I let them take them there? So I think it's a good kind of combination of not letting them be driven by the narrative, but also having enough structure to not let my characters go totally off the walls every time I sit down to write. And I think I'm going to redo that video because a lot of people liked it, and I think I can present my concept better. So check that out if you're interested in how to help combine plotting and pantsing, but also how to use Notion to keep your ideas more visual, so you're not just doom scrolling on Pinterest. I digress. Anyway, so my fantasy novels are a bit unique, as is everyone's novel and project. But I have dual protagonists, and it's 2 women, Sophia and ℂ𝕠𝕒, and their story is set in the 15th century, where the world's torn apart by new magic. This strange cursed magic, no one knows where it's coming from, but it seems to everyone to pretty much only affect women, and newborns are kind of being born with what would be considered demonic features and very deformed and don't survive. So there's a lot of kind of chaos in the world of what's happening. And my 2 main characters, Sophia and ℂ𝕠𝕒, they are 2 women who are affected by this new cursed magic in the world, and they're the only 2 women who can control the magic that they're experiencing and can manipulate it, whereas throughout the book, most of the women who do receive some sort of gift from this magic have absolutely no control over whatever this curse or gift that's been placed upon them. So I need to give some more examples towards that, but and without being too spoiler-y, but one example is there's a character in my novels who is one of those characters who's a very side character, but her impact is pretty big throughout the books. But I won't say her name, but she is cursed, and anyone she touches gets burned by her touch, and it has just kind of boiled to the point where she's hunted, and obviously she can't interact with people, but she can't control who she burns or how or why, or the intensity of it. It's just very chaotic and unknowing. So that's an example of someone who's cursed but can't control anything about it. That doesn't mean they can't make decisions and try to use what is happening to them to their advantage, but they can't actually like manipulate the power by their sheer will alone. But Sophia and Monyang can manipulate their power, and they're the only two. So these dual protagonists are two different women, and there are circumstances that bring them together, and they realize that they're the only two who can control the power, or at least they think they're the only two. They haven't met anyone else who can. And all of these women who are being cursed are being kind of like hunted and gathered by people who mean to use them, usually for nefarious purposes. And a lot of the book is about Sophia and Monyang trying to perhaps help these women and stop the hunting and figure out what's going on and like why the curses are happening. But my main protagonist, while that's a very noble cause, and I think in their minds they're developing a noble cause, especially where I am in book 2 writing, they're actually pretty self-centered characters, and I will be curious how readers feel about them. But I do like writing my main characters, my protagonists, flawed and not unlikable, but like being human and being selfish and just trying to get what it is they want out of their life experiences, and what they think the powers mean and what they think it means for the world can be very conflicting. And now that I'm on conflict, I've talked a little bit about the magic system and my two main protagonists. I noticed with my book 2 writing, so I've written 6 new chapters since I moved to Chicago, so in the last month, 6 new chapters. I'm at about 80,000 words for book 2, but I feel like I'm only 35% of the way through everything I want to encompass in book 2. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to condense it, and right now I'm realizing that I love dialogue, so a lot of my recent chapters have been very dialogue heavy, and that's not to say there's not tension and conflict in dialogue, like there is, and I love heavy dialogue, but if I'm going to speed up finishing draft 2 and actually try to keep it to a reasonable page length, some of this conflict needs to be a bit faster paced and maybe a bit more action-y, adventure-y, since this is a high seas adventure fantasy novel series. So there is already like action, fighting, like adventure in the 80,000 words. Like, don't worry about that. It's just the last 6 chapters has been a lot of like, now we're in a new situation, what are we going to do about it? And today I'm going to go to the coffee shop, start a new chapter where my focus for the day is like, let's get some action going. So we're going to need some really good soundtrack music to write to. I like writing to soundtrack music, and let me know if you have like a favorite soundtrack or song you like for more action-y scenes, adventure scenes. I'll drop a recommendation of the song that I listen to the most in this writing session I'm about to go into. So we'll see. You can see like what I was writing to. And I'm really excited for get some action going. Because the last 6 chapters I think are actually really good. It's just a lot of dialogue, and if I'm at 35% of what I want book 2 to be, and I'm at 80,000 words, editing Laura's gonna have a lot of problems, so I need to speed it up a little bit. But that's a problem for Coffee Shop Laura to get into today. And I'm a month into my new move, a little over a month now, and I have my desktop. I have this amazing floor meditation cushion. I will overlay some like B-roll of it because it's gorgeous, and I am really excited to get the actual frame shipped. It's been almost 4 weeks since I ordered the frame to my desk. So I'm getting a little antsy because I've been writing at a kitchen table in a very hard wooden kitchen chair. And I'm dying to get my desk in place so that I can actually get back to writing more. Because when the day's over, the last thing I want to do is sit in the same hard wooden kitchen chair. I digress. That's going to be a fun video vlog, I think, is putting the desk together and getting the setup together, because I think it's going to look really good. And we'll be able to get a lot more writing in and done. But yeah, yesterday was a great day. Got a bunch of writing in. Today, going to do another coffee shop writing session. I reach flow state best in a coffee shop, and I reach flow state best in a coffee shop on the weekend, like where no one's rushing me. I haven't drained my mind all day at my 9 to 5, so I'm able to like wake up, have like a chill morning to get ready, and then go to the coffee shop, walk there, like listen to music on the way there, get settled in, reach flow state. There's something about being in a coffee shop and people are like walking around that just makes me feel more productive, so it works for me. So because I've not been writing on the weekdays without my at-home desk, I have been ensuring when I do go to the coffee shop, I get a substantial amount of words written. Otherwise, this book is just never gonna get written. And once it is written, I have to rewrite book 1, do beta reader session again, and then I can start querying. So I'm not worrying about that yet because that's down the road. Yeah, so today we're going to get into a new chapter. I'm pretty sure the chapter is going to be Mo Nyang's point of view. I love writing Mo's point of view, and I love writing action and fight scenes from her point of view because she's just so sassy, and like the way she like thinks while she's fighting, it's just, I think, a lot of fun and humorous. So I'll try to think about how to summarize that. But when I'm writing a fight scene, or any kind of like major physical action scene, she's my favorite point of view to write it from. She's pretty much my favorite character, so that makes sense. But anyway, peace. Let's go to the coffee shop.
Remember my past, she'd be shocked at where I'm at. Baby girl, we made it up, and this is not the end. Little me would be so